Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 19 seasons, that's a lot, kid. But you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show. Not the food, though, but the other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the only official podcast about the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Brian, and Reeves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last name, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Welcome to Pod Chef. I am your host, Jamal. Am I coming in? Am I low? Brian? It looks low.
Brian, have you preemptively turned Jamal down?
Preemptively turned me down? Because
I mean, you sound like a decent volume, but it's not hitting the walls like mine is.
Yeah.
Yo,
No, it's not.
you trying to hit the walls. That's what I hear.
And he's ruined my intro. We've lost all of our female listeners right there. My co-host Reeves is here. Say what's up, Reeves.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing out there? We're gonna get into Top Chef. Don't you worry.
We're going to talk about Top Chef. I promise you that.
Guarantee.
And third mic, Brian Action Jackson. Mr.
What's-
Jackson, if you're nasty. Is here.
What's up? I'm here, and I watched Top Chef also, and I fell asleep during it because that's what happens these days.
Sure.
Let's get into something just right away. We heard from Tom this week. We heard from Tom this week. Me and Brian, because I got a separate email saying, "Hey, I sent something to Brian. I sent something to you. Why don't you read yours after Brian?" I was like,
He's not sending things to me. I have his journal, and he messaged me and he said, "Read a page from it." I have his actual Moleskine. Remember, you guys made money for saying Moleskine.
Yeah, I just have the Xerox copies.
I got
He
the
reached
real
out to me
thing.
too. He actually reached out.
He
to me
reached out
too.
to you separately?
What did he say to you?
He said that he's getting into he's making some YouTube videos. Is his new thing?
Front facing camera.
Yeah. Well, he said he's getting into the data is beautiful stuff. And so if you've seen
know
those
what that is.
videos,
Yeah.
there's these videos where it's like they kind of like show things over time, subjects over time. And like he sent me one that he made, and it was just like Top Chef judges over time, head judges over time. And it's just his head. It's just him all the way at the beginning over the years.
Okay.
Interesting.
He's like, data's pretty beautiful, huh? And I'm like, well, I don't really know if that's beautiful. It just shows that you've been consistent in your job.
Well,
Anyway, that's for those people that watch those videos.
I don't.
Tom sent me an email. He closes all of his emails that he sends me with, "Hey, just keep this between me and you. I'm not telling you other guys' stuff." But he's clearly talking to you guys about stuff, so that's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone-
he tells me everything.
Anyone watching that Dahmer Netflix show?
No.
No.
No?
I'm watching a fun show. I'm watching Superstore, and it's very nice. I'm done with mean shows. I do nice shows now.
Why is that a mean
too.
show? Oh, it's because...
Because it's about Killer.
Skilly. Very scary.
He
Yeah.
kills everybody, and it's got the main characters, the
Well,
guy from
not everybody.
American Horror Story, who's very scary to begin with, because when I see him, I think of all those scary things, too.
Mhm.
So
That's where I know him from.
just give me the nice Superstore where
the
everyone
the
is
show
nice.
American Horror Story that literally said, why don't we just recycle the cast every season
Yeah.
and just
Mm.
put them in different roles, and then maybe one season bring them back.
Pretty
And,
cheap.
Yeah, pretty cost effective. That's going
Oh, yeah.
green in Hollywood.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, what day is your journal from Tom?
He told me he said any day you want to do from the journal as long as it ends in a 2.
So which
So I thought
day-
I'd be funny and read day 2, which
Okay,
you know
that's
what?
great.
It
That's
starts
pretty good.
and ends in 2.
read it. Go ahead.
Okay.
All
Let's
right,
hear
so
it.
this is from Tom
Day
Colicchio's travel journal. Day 2 of this moleskine. It really feels worn. It feels lived in. This like leather has really been lived in.
Well, I mean, how many days was it that he had it again? That he's been writing in it?
Well, he said it says thousands, but
yeah, but I guess maybe even it had only been like a couple of months.
How did he travel with it, Reeves? Like, it really feels like a mitt that you would like, you've been using, like your dad passed down to you that he used in Little League. It really feels worn and warm. The leather's warm.
I mean, he would put it in his big mouth the whole time, and then, I mean, that wouldn't last very long. Like, as soon as he started hiking, he would just spit it out and toss it back to me, and he'd say, "Hold on to this."
Okay.
So I had to hold on to it, and then eventually I kind of created like a little bit of a satchel kind of situation just to tie it, and then he could just kind of tie it and just drag it along the ground. So I think that might have added to some of the age.
Yeah, you can feel it. It really feels like it's been in a big mouth and dragged across the bush.
And I will say, whenever he got frustrated, which was often, he would often go to the journal to take out his rage. So there was a lot of him picking up the journal, slamming it against a tree, or just punching it against the ground. Like that was where he kind of got out all of his anger and his rage.
Well, you told me he would say, "I need to journal," and then he would take the journal and beat the shit out of it and throw it against a tree.
Yeah.
Like he called that journaling.
Yeah.
He'd be, "Hold on, I need to journal."
But I mean, whatever. I mean, it did seem to help him. You needed to get out that frustration.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than, harming nature. All right, here we go. Day 2. This is early on in your all's adventure, so okay, day 2. This is where I belong. I finally feel ellipses home. Just me and Rivs. It's spelled R-I-V-S. I guess that's you.
Damn it.
Rivs, the great outdoors, and access to anything in the TC pantry, and that's the Tom Colicchio pantry, which we established as rocks, I believe.
Yeah, there's a bunch of small pebbles.
I'm already evolving to my environment. This morning, my bucket hat flew off my head and into the river. Rivs told me I need to put sunscreen on my head and face, but that's for city folk, and I'm a bushman now. So I found a mud hole and decided to do like my elephant brethren and cover my head and face in mud to protect me from the sun. The mud dried dark brown, almost black on my head and face, fully protecting me from the sun's damaging rays. I checked out my reflection in the river, and I looked pretty cool too. If only Cliff were here to see me like this, even though Rivs keeps saying I'm lucky no one else is here, and he's refusing to take my picture, even though I know he didn't throw his phone away like I asked him to. Either way, it's getting pretty late, especially according to BPT, Bush People Time. Until next time, dear journal, TC out.
Yep, I remember that. And audience, if you were imagining how offensive he looked, just triple it. It was really bad. Because, I mean, Brian wasn't even doing he was talking in a voice too as soon as he saw himself. And I was like, you really shouldn't be doing that. It's really offensive.
I didn't, in the journal, he starts dropping, the G's are dropped off the ends of INGs after he starts talking about it, like an apostrophe, things like that. Like, taken, not taking.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. Wow. So should I just read my journal entry now?
Yeah, unless you want to react to that one we just did and maybe say something funny that you liked it, or that it was like good, or you feel XYZ about Tom who wrote it.
So
I'll read do yours and just
I'll read the day 15 one, and then we can move on from this segment.
Okay. I have the wrinkle of this segment that has revealed itself as being competitive. I find fascinating. So
I didn't know it was competitive until about 13 seconds ago.
No, it's fine. No. I imagine Tom worked not hard, but at least expelled some sort of mental, a little bit of mental gymnastics to write something that was poignant and clever, and hitting on topics that we often talk about on this show, but still feeling like he wrote it, and not like one of us wrote it for jokes, because this is a real thing that I read in this moleskine that I have that we know has been in his mouth and dragged along in a satchel.
Yes.
I don't want you to think that I'm not reacting and like I don't like it, or that it's not funny or entertaining. I'm just not reacting because I'm like, this is the Tom Colicchio I know. Nothing's surprising me at this point. This all makes sense.
Okay.
This is how he's acting day 2. Well, then the day 15 journal that I'm about to read makes even more sense.
It was
That's
old
how he's
hat
acting
for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've read a lot of these entries too. So you have to understand, like, this is taking the door and opening it, and we're peeking in, and he's on the toilet, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't want you to see me like this." And we're seeing Tom the way we didn't want to see Tom.
Oh, but you're saying that you've been in the bathroom the entire time, watching him the entire time. So it's nothing surprises to you when you
Nothing surprised me because I've been hiding in the shower. I've been hiding in the shower, and I'm like, how can he not pull back the shower curtain and make sure no one's in here first before he puts himself in the most vulnerable position you can be in? Pants around the ankles, bare butt cheeks on the porcelain.
It's one of those like visible shower curtains where you can it's pretty transparent. You can clearly see, and there's a hole cut through the middle where you can you're sticking your head through.
And my shirt and my pants are all see through as well. I'm wearing those clear PVC.
You're dressed in plastic,
Yeah, because it rained the day I went
in the shower.
Yeah, it was raining in the shower.
Probably once a day. Usually it rains in the shower.
Oh my god, the weather in the shower is terrible.
Yeah,
it's always raining.
It'll rain like crazy for like 5 to 10 minutes and then stop.
Sometimes it floods.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that he didn't hear me open up my clear umbrella too. Because when it started raining, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get caught." And then I pulled up my umbrella and it made a big puffy sound on the shower curtain, but he didn't respond. All right,
I don't know how he didn't hear your rubber ducky squeaking.
Yeah, that's true because that thing's always going off. It goes off in water. It was connected to my life vest.
There's Bluetooth.
Yeah. All right, day 15.
I'm gonna stone face this. You ready?
That's fine.
You guys don't. I mean,
again, I didn't know this was a competition until 2 minutes ago.
Wrinkle.
So,
but as we know, this is just Tom entries.
This is
just competition between him. It's just the two of you are reading them, and they're separate.
It starts with Revis. Revis. I have to get rid of him. My problem is, and I'd never say this to his face, I admire him. Oh, you should say that to your face. That's a nice thing to say.
That's nice. Yeah,
he has so many different leadership qualities that I feel overcome when I compare myself to him. If I had a hero, it's becoming Revis. I want to call him a nickname that sort of shows how I respect him, but also maybe he'd take as an insult so he doesn't pick up on the fact that I respect him so much. I know. I'll call him Father. He's my very own Reverend Hun Gary, except white, of course. In other news, I fashioned a do-rag out of coconut shells. Revis told me...
How does that work?
Revis told me I look like...
Interesting. This is interesting. Okay.
Revis told me I look like one of the bald chefs from Top Chef.
You see,
with the coconut turned upside down.
Brian, you gotta let him finish. You have to. It's only fair.
Okay.
It's only fair.
All right. Okay.
He said, Revis told me I look like one of the bald chefs from Top Chef with the coconut turned upside down on my head. That's the highest compliment. If only Jamal could see me like this. My dog, Jamal. My road dog, my homie. Jamali Wally. Chocolate Thunder. Siri, set reminder to call Jamal Chocolate Thunder when I get back to Earth. I'm making a notebook cover from my sunburned skin flakes that I'm drawing on palm leaves next to me. Revis thinks this is a bad idea. Tom out.
That was great.
Did you hear that, Brian?
Immediately get to it that there are very similar themes.
So yeah,
I mean, they're close in dates, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they're close in dates.
You know, and it would seem like maybe if there was some sort of, before we decided to read both entries, we maybe talked about what the themes that were in each entry that we read, maybe to avoid talking about the same stuff and making the same types of jokes twice. And gosh, if that had happened, either the person didn't go into detail enough to fully explain what their entry was they were reading was about, or just lied to us.
Well, I think, if we did have that conversation before recording, I'm pretty sure I'd say it was about Reeves than about me. And that's probably something I'd say. And so I feel like day 15 reading this journal, it was about Reeves and then it was about me.
But if I were to ask you what the entry that I read was about, what would you say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I don't
Reeves,
know.
what was mine about?
It's about, if I'm remembering the day,
Day 2.
it's
Day 2.
about
It's your second day there.
Tom. I mean, he basically did a version of blackface.
Okay, right, yeah, okay, yeah. And even though he said your name at least 3 times in it, you wouldn't say it was about you, would you?
No.
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't say so.
Well,
But I mean, it is Tom's journal.
Yeah,
so,
it's
I mean,
Tom's
I think
journal.
It inherently is about him.
and I think this is about Reeves. He wants to. He admires Reeves. He wants to call him father. And Reeves, should we maybe talk about how long did that last? Him calling you father.
I mean, the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah. Father, and then insert any particular way he mispronounced my name. Yeah.
Well,
Brian, what you bring up is very interesting. I would volley that it would take a lot of prep work to do something that would prevent that, and also it wouldn't give us these lovely organic moments.
Nope.
That I think are special and make the show great.
Yep. Yeah.
I agree.
The organic moments. It's a lot of prep work of saying, what's yours about? Blackface. What's yours about? Looking like a black person. Oh. Maybe we'll just read one today. Chefs, we're gonna do this one. We do a segment we do every week.
You can't even do the segment call in, can you? Go ahead. Try and
My
do it.
whole thing is that I do things just good enough, and I'm
Let's hear you do Chefs I prepared for you, the actual intro saying.
All right,
Can I really quickly volley something
please, would you? Thank God.
To the audience? What has been the worst time in terms of conflict on this show between Jamal and Brian? Is it right now, or are there previous seasons?
It's the Little League thing that happened.
Oh man, I put that out of my
where
mind.
he was like, "We don't do participation trophies," and he turned into this real fucking Republican piece of shit.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. No,
When did
me.
I
I
do
did that.
When did I do
Liberal
that?
ass me. When I
When
was
did I
talking
do that?
about not getting playing time in Little League, and you're like, "You got to be better at Little League." When I'm like,
well,
9
no,
years old.
and now you're doing the liberal thing, which is misquoting me. That's not what I said. I said that. Did you even like playing? You said no
Because I wasn't given the opportunity to like it.
You didn't like it. You were playing. You didn't like it. So why should you
was
play
not
more than
playing.
someone like me who likes it
I'm gonna go
and
back
is
and find the
good?
clip and play it, and you're gonna be.
Look,
you'll go. Look, that wasn't me. I don't know what that is.
Look, it wasn't me, and I don't know what it was. I don't understand what.
We're gonna move on to our next segment. It's the only segment we do consistently every week. It's a segment called "Chefs I Prepared for You," where we talk about what we had for dinner last night, and only last night. Jamal will go first.
This is your opening to this segment. This is not how this is done.
Pretty close.
This is not even close.
Okay, you do it and see what I missed.
I didn't mean to make things worse.
All right, we're going to move on to the segment called Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment we do every week where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night. And we present it as if we're presented to the judges on Top Chef. There will be a winner. I'll go first. See, that's how it's done. It fucking rolls off the tongue.
Go first.
I'm the host, and we're
moving on. Go first.
Stuff, so that's why it works very well.
I'm going to turn your volume down so low.
I do it every week, and I've kind of got that muscle.
No one's going to hear you.
Chefs I prepared for you. Nothing. I didn't have dinner last night.
You didn't eat dinner? What happened?
Guys, I'm fasting.
Oh.
No, I just didn't have time. I can tell you what I had for lunch yesterday, but I didn't have dinner.
That's not how the game's played.
I know. That's why I said I didn't have anything. So don't worry, Brian. It takes me not cooking for you to have a chance to win.
Can I ask, outside of the confines of the game, what you had for lunch?
Yes. So I had paprika and chipotle spice chicken breast. I had curry jasmine rice. What?
You had dinner.
No, this is lunch. This is lunch.
For dinner.
And I had black pepper, black beans. So it was rice and beans and chicken. Mm-hmm. And that was lunch.
This is a lunch that I would have too, but I understand Brian's perspective of it being in dinner, because maybe that's what he has for dinner.
Yeah.
Often.
Well, if he'd cook something, then yeah.
No, he is in you.
You
Please
as in me.
What time did you stop? What time do you start fasting? When is your intermittent starting?
No, I wasn't actually fasting. I just didn't have time last night. When I got home, I was trying to take care of something, then I had to leave again. So I didn't have time to make dinner.
Then you buy something.
And so, Brian,
No, you don't.
maybe this is some time to show a little bit of empathy for your friend. He didn't even need. He didn't need
Yeah,
dinner.
I didn't even get to eat dinner, and your first thought was to insult me. Wasn't to be like, hey, I feel bad for you.
I'm sorry. You're right.
This for everyone who's listening. This is a friend that he's insulting who's letting him crash here for free in a couple weeks.
Sounds like that rate's gonna go up.
I'm also taking care of you during that time because
You're not taking care of
I'm
nothing.
taking care of you during that
You are
time.
not taking care of
I'm gonna
anything.
help you out.
I'm gonna pretend like you're not here and do
I'm gonna
anything I
help
need
you.
to do by
I'm gonna
myself.
help you out.
Oh my god.
I am kind of
Jamal, you
curious
need me
what
to
the
get that
help
for you?
is.
You need me to get that for you, Jamal?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I
You
can
need
do
help
it
to the bathroom,
myself.
Jamal? I'll watch you fall down. Don't help me.
Don't help me. I can do
Don't
it.
come in here.
Yeah, I can do it.
Doors half open.
Yeah.
Just
I can
see
see you
legs on
laying
the
on the
ground.
Yeah, you can see and hear everything.
Oh, you sound like you're not coming here. I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm getting through it.
Oh.
Oh God, it's worse. It's worse. I can never get up now.
I finally do say, Brian. And you're like, what do you want? Do you want help? I was like, no. Keep talking to me, though.
Close the door.
Close the door, but keep talking to me through the door.
Chefs, I prepared for you creamy chickpea pasta with spinach
Winner.
and rose.
He won.
Murray.
Folks, he won. Let's be honest.
Rosemary? Rosemary.
Rosemary.
No, Rosemary's the male
Yep.
spice.
Mm-hmm.
It's the male spice.
You guys seen that shirt? It's like Rosemary's outline. Man, that guy, he pops up at an old party. Those be at a college party. Man, so cool. He's
Because
in
you had to see the shirt.
It was tasty. I make this, I would say, about every other week. I throw it together. It doesn't take too long. It's another one of those New York Times recipes. It's pretty easy. Yeah, it takes about half an hour. Not too bad. Half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Speaking of NY Times, you guys see that old AR got another show on CNN. Now it's going to be on the actual network, which someone told me is Republican now.
AR?
Yeah, Miss AR.
I did have to decode a lot of that.
Who's Miss AR?
Oh my god.
Who's Miss AR?
Reeves doesn't even know who Miss AR is.
AO. Yeah. You
Hold
don't
on.
even
I'm going to
know.
go boil
She
some
put
hot
out a-
dogs and think about this. Hold
Yeah,
on.
you're close. You're
I'm
close.
going to go boil some. Well, these
They
hot
have a
dogs
hot
look
dog
like
party.
these hot dogs look like toes on a boat.
What?
She would really do well on this. I think that if there's going to be a last episode of this show, it has to either be Tom or her as the guest.
Yeah,
and then
or
we end
both.
it. Or both. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, just have them spar.
Mm-hmm.
Do a political debate.
Yeah, we'll give them a
Beat
topic,
us
and
up.
one has to choose pro, one has to choose con.
Yeah.
Let's see. War. Should U.S. intervene in Russia's attack on Ukraine? AR, you take the pro. Tom, you take the con. Go.
So the rumor is she's become a Republican?
No, CNN's Republican now, I heard.
Okay, there's so much misinformation that's flying around here.
I'm getting so confused. There's so much
All
misinformation
right,
out
chefs. You want to clear this up or do you want to go?
there. No, go ahead.
Chefs, last night I procured for you Chinese food again. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I don't give a goddamn.
Okay.
Our dog had to get surgery yesterday.
Oh no,
And,
the tattoo dog.
No, the other one. And,
The one they don't care about.
She had to get a growth removed from her eye, and she got to get her teeth cleaned. And
Oh,
so we.
What was on her eye? What's the growth?
She had a little growth like on her eyelid, like a little like. They sent it away for a biopsy, but they're like, these things happen. It was kind of like growing. It was starting to get to like above her, you know, where she could see. So we had to get rid of it. She's fine. Got a couple stitches. She's good, but she was a little grumpy girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Can we just get Chinese food?
She was like, I don't feel like cooking tonight. Can we just
Can we just do?" And you were like,
Are we talking
Doesn't
about
make it
Carrie or the dog?
both? They you know what? They teamed up on me. I was like, all right, who's ready for me to cook? It'll be food will be ready about an hour. And they were like, can we just order? Come on. I have surgery.
that makes sense.
And Carrie's like, yeah, she just had surgery. Can we just get Chinese food?
Yeah.
And I was like, but I had so many plans for food. I went out and I bought fresh ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go crazy, you guys. I was gonna make such a wild meal that with like different herbs, like fresh herbs. I was gonna cut
Mm-hmm.
and different lentils, quinoa, even.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that seems like a lot of stuff. So I
Yeah,
kind
it
of get
sounds
why
like
they
a
were
lot.
maybe like,
It's
let's
almost
There's-
like that's going to take longer than an hour for
simple.
Brian. He doesn't
Yeah, well,
really
I had to,
cook that much.
I had to soak the lentils. I had to go through the quinoa.
That's an
looking
hour
for
in and of
rocks,
itself.
Looking for rocks in my quinoa.
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I feel like where you get your quinoa is like you
It
go
matters.
into sand and you're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, this looks tasty. And you
Yeah.
just get a bunch of handful of sand, and that's not
I mean,
quinoa.
you and Carrie keep telling me that they're just big sand crystals that I'm saying are quinoa. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, it sure does crunch like sand.
Is
but it's
quinoa supposed to
quinoa.
be crunchy?
Mine is.
No,
Okay.
no.
Mine is. You think when you cook it down, you'd boil it for 45 minutes, it would stop
Yeah.
being crunchy? No.
Nope.
It's got to be hot too.
Hot.
Like, that's
Yeah.
it's not gonna be.
That's the best way to have it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had all these plans, but no, we ordered Chinese food. But you know what? It was fine because I got a little garlic, little eggplant and garlic sauce. Ooh, baby, it's so good.
You just got eggplant and garlic sauce?
That was my main. It's like a bunch of eggplant with a little baby bok choy with garlic sauce with some white rice.
Okay.
It's so
That sounds like a
good.
meal now. I thought it was just eggplant and garlic sauce.
That's, the majority of what it is.
What
Y'all
did
fuck with eggplant? You guys
what
like
did your
mushy?
what did your wife and the dogs get?
Carrie got vegetable lo mein.
Mm.
Ripley, she was on pain pills, so she was like, let me get.
She had the munchies.
Yeah, she's like, let me get a wonton soup, the big one. Let me get the
That's when you're on painkillers.
Yeah.
Soup is the last thing. It just goes right in your mouth and just pours out all over the floor.
I thought she wanted the big one because she knew she
Yeah.
wouldn't get much, but she had to keep trying.
Because she could get second
Yeah.
soup then off the floor.
She's like, let me get a half and half. And I was like, they don't do that at the Chinese places here. That's only in DC. She's like, but I want it. So I
Didn't
get
she
her
ask
half
for a
and half.
crawfish rangoon?
She wanted a crawfish rangoon. She wanted, she was like, I don't want a crab rangoon. I want a crawfish rangoon.
Yeah.
I had to ask them to especially make it for me. And they said that they would, but that they'd never forgive me for it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You should
That's
have
the
told them this
trade-off.
was for the finale of Top Chef season 6.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
like,
that's what
"Oh,
I said. That's what I
wow."
said. And they said, fuck you. and and then she was like, let me get, chicken mambo sauce. I was like, again, that's DC. We're not in DC anymore. And she was like, yeah, you dragged me from DC. I want to go back there. It was a whole thing. And she was upset. And Everett did this thing where he, threatened to leave. He kept grabbing the car keys off the thing and saying, I'm just going to go.
He did
That's
this while I
very
was there.
sad.
He had a little bag that he would drag to the door.
He calls it his bug out bag. And it's got a handgun in it.
He keeps
Oh,
saying, if you guys
no.
keep bugging, I'm out.
Yeah.
He said, it's my bug out bag. Y'all keep bugging, I'm out. And I thought it would be cute that it's full of squeaky toys and like dog food.
It
It's
is
just
so
a
loud.
handgun.
It's
It's
just
just
a
a handgun. Heavy handgun.
It's so loud when he drags it on the floor. though.
It's like a dirty, hairy,
it's like a
hand
357
cannon.
Magnum in
Colt,
there.
whatever
And it's
it is.
full
yeah.
of bullets too.
Where do you
Like,
think he's
mo-
going with that? Like, he can't go
just
anywhere
said-
far away with it.
He just says, if only I can get past TSA.
Oh no.
He's not gonna do anything, he says. I just gotta get past TSA.
He keeps doing the things like, every time we take a trip, I try and see what I can sneak past TSA.
More and more.
I'm just
So that's
testing
just
their yeah.
Yeah, it's a test to see how far
Yeah.
he can get through. He doesn't want to do anything. And I mean, that's a pretty good argument when I think about it. When they pull you over, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with this? All you brought was a bag with a gun and some bullets in it. It's
Heavy
like,
gun.
I just want to see if I can get it
Yeah.
through. I'm not going to do anything.
I just want to
with
make
it.
sure you guys
Yeah.
are paying attention, you know?
And then we gotta go get him from the little police station in the airport.
Yeah.
And they're
The
like,
pound,
sir,
you know?
like, sir, ma'am, is this yours?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And then he gets in the car and he says, can we go to McDonald's? We go, yeah.
You said we could pick up cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so at McDonald's, got a cheeseburger.
It's tough.
Yeah, being a parent's hard.
It's hard. That's a lot of work.
You guys will
Yeah.
learn one day. Being a parent's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't sleep most nights.
Yeah. I hear there's not much sleep at all.
You know, every
Yeah.
time we start recording, I wonder to myself, how are we going to get to 30 minutes? And then we get there,
It just happens.
and I'm like,
It's natural.
I can't believe we did it again. We'll
All
be
right, so
right
I guess
back after
Reeves
this.
won.
I fucking won.
Reeves
Not even a
won. We'll be right
competition,
back
yeah.
after this for the finale.
Woo woo, finale 2.
Pawn Shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Pod Chef, episode 102, Top Chef, season 6, episode 14, the finale, part 2 in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm your host, Chitlin Steve. And I'm joined, of course, with my Bayou brethren. Say hello, won't you, Reeves? Classic Bayou talk, and always a French, a French correspondent. Say hello, Brian.
Bonjour, it is moi, Monsieur French. And if you will give me 1 second, I would like to say to everyone who's listening, Comme on va son lit, on se couche. Which, if you don't speak French, like one of my other New Orleans brothers and sisters, oops.
So close.
So close. That was almost perfect. All right, we're doing the recap now. Go ahead and finish filling out your application for Peacock streaming.
We're on
go
Peacock
ahead.
now, folks.
Yeah, we're on Peacock streaming app. You can get it now for $1.99 for the first 12 months. That's how desperate they are to get you into watching Peacock.
But here's the thing. If you're like, well, is $1.99 worth it to just watch Top Chef? And to that I say, we've also talked about it. There's wrestling on there.
There's wrestling on there as well.
Maybe even too much wrestling is on there because it's like all the wrestling is there.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also like Parks and Rec.
Yep.
Start your Peacock app up and let's get into the finale.
And
part
don't
2.
don't accidentally watch Jurassic World Dominion. We did that last night by accident, and for some reason it's about a little cloned girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not a dinosaur. I don't know what was going on.
What's the problem?
I felt so lost watching that movie. I was like, who is
Easy
that?
to follow. Easy
Who
to
is
follow.
this?
There's a little clone girl, and it's all about her. And there's a dinosaur that invades a party.
Find her. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
I don't know what's going on. It's got the black phone, though. You can watch the black phone, then go back and listen to Jamal and I talk about the black phone.
Yep. So Marcel Vigneron, Richard Blaze,
She's British, too, the little clone girl.
and Casey Thompson, they make their return to Top Chef as sous chefs here in the finale.
Why these three? Were they recording an all-star season at this time?
I don't know. You know what I think? I think they thought there's going to be drama from one of these three, and they give us no drama.
They don't even get talking heads. It was so pointless.
So
Marcel was so watered down. It was not even his hair was the most interesting
He was
thing.
neutered.
Yeah.
they barely talk. So it is interesting of the three. I think it's because all three of them made it to the finale and didn't win, right?
Yeah.
That's maybe why they picked them, and
Yeah.
they're all from different seasons. But it's interesting because out of Marcel, all three of them, Casey is the one that gets the most screen time.
Yeah.
Because they follow her narrative. But I think that there's some kind of subplot that maybe they didn't really dig into where Blaze really, really helps Hosea out. I mean, he must have, right?
Yeah, that's why he won.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but we don't really see it.
He did a freaking foam out of fatty duck liver, goose liver.
He came back and did a foam, and Marcel's like, I wanted to do a foam.
Yeah, he couldn't do any of the phones. But at the very least, he probably didn't, make a bunch of crazy suggestions that sabotaged
Completely.
his finale.
Hey, do you want to do sous vide cooking that you don't do at all? Let's do that for your
That's
meat.
Poor Carla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really got she got blind.
We'll talk
bad.
about it. Look, let's get into it because at the very beginning, Tom makes an appearance early in the finale. This is like the earliest Tom has been in the show in the past 7 weeks of the show. Like he's here at the top of the show. He hasn't been in a quickfire in a long time, but he's here and he wants to introduce some king cake into New Orleans.
Yes.
Let's listen.
Yes.
Right. Morning, chefs.
Morning, chef.
Yesterday we told you that all you had to do was make the best 3-course meal of your life. We're gonna add one more course.
I already feel like I don't have enough time, so I'm nervous. These butterflies are now like bats or something, I'm like, oh my God. fun.
Each of you will have to make an appetizer for a tray pass before we sit down for dinner. And you'll be using some traditional New Orleans ingredients. One of you will cook with crab, one with redfish, and one with alligator.
Alligator, just a wacky meat. It's like having kangaroo eat raccoon. What's the point?
In order to determine who cooks what protein, we're gonna go to New Orleans tradition. The king cake.
What are you doing?
That's
Your
the
song.
New Orleans music.
Your song.
That's my song?
That's your New Orleans music
Oh.
you played.
Do you want me to play that right now?
Can you play 2 clips at once? No, that's fine.
He said Stefan said at the end there that alligator is a wacky meat, and we do know that alligator is a wacky meat because in the last season, an alligator with shoes that was naked was on the show. Remember that?
Mhm.
Remember that naked alligator that just had his shoes on? Was
That
on the
had no
show?
skin.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
that
else
was on
did
the show.
Stefan there say? He said it's like Kevin Kangaroo.
Captain
Captain
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. It was
Yeah.
a very Mad Libs like joke that I couldn't really follow the logic on. I think he was just trying to say it was absurd. Yeah, and I mean we found out Carla has bats in her stomach.
A lot going
which-
on here.
And that's where
Yeah,
the
there's
Batcave
a-
is.
There's a lot
She
of
just
weird
gave up
things
that
coming
info.
up. Yeah,
Bruce.
that's what she calls her stomach, the Batcave. Oh, I
Where's
forgot to point.
Hootie?
Bring me Hootie. Show him to me.
It's not who you are, but what you do that matters.
Sue me for me.
You got to be a little more out of breath. I always feel like he's really out of breath.
Sue me for me.
Where's the Joker?
That's not what you do. That's not what you
I'm nothing like you.
do.
I think that you're
Let me
all
catch my breath.
a lot more like me, Batman. I'm nothing like you.
Hold on, Joker. Hold on, I just ran here. I'm so tired.
The suit, it pushes on my chest.
I can't get it.
I can't get a full breath.
1 second.
It's like
You guys keep going. I'll catch up. Just keep doing this. Keep shooting. Keep filming. I'll catch up.
I will always be here. Why is that dark? Wait a second. Hold on, everyone.
Hold on. I had a
just need
good.
some
I
water.
had something for this. Riddle me this. No, that's you.
No, look, I gotta take my mask off. Oh, it's so hot.
cover my nose. My nose is covered.
Oh, God. Oh, God, I don't know how for it to put some. Make this a little bit more easy to breathe. Okay, we can't do any more out of breath back there.
All right. When they were eating the king
They
cake,
had to eat king cake and find the baby. Whoever got the baby got to be the king or queen of the day, which meant they got to pick which meat they wanted, and then they'll give out the other meats to the other contestants. And when Jose got it, that means he was like, give Stefan the fucking gator because those two hate each other now
yeah.
a lot.
We thought that they were like kind of playing around, pretending, like doing a bit like me and Brian are doing on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out, and I watched some of the reunion. They hate each other. They don't like each other. Fabio and Stefan are the only ones who actually like each
Yeah.
other.
Can I? Here's what I think happened. Maybe we can ask Tom if he can confirm this. They recorded the talking heads after the finale, and Stefan is pissed that he lost.
Yeah.
So he's being like extra like shady when he's
yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about Hosea because he's
Yeah.
like pissed that he lost.
He's like,
and
oh,
honestly,
you cooked a fish. Good for you, Jose. That's so fucking easy.
that could have gone either way, except
Yeah.
for Carla because
Yeah.
she fucked up because of
Yeah.
her teammate. But
Yeah, it is. It's
Blue cheese souffle.
interesting because the twist, you kind of feel like, oh, this is what's going to sink Stefan. It doesn't really. He makes like a nice little. He buries it in a soup, which is pretty smart. And I think I was thinking at first that it was like, oh, the sous chefs are kind of what make this finale like whoever wins. But I think it really is more the progression. We'll get into this. The progression in the meal
Mm-hmm.
is what the judges cared most about, and like their interpretation of the progression, like because they wanted light to heavy, which isn't what everyone did.
No.
Which I feel
Some
like you should
people
kinda
went.
say it.
Some people went light, heavy, back to heavy, and finished
Yeah.
with heavy.
Yeah.
And some people went light, heavy, light. Interesting.
I gotta say though, it is tough to go light after you've gone heavy, and then when you do get light after you go heavy, if you get light after heavy, it wants to go back to heavy again. It's
Yeah.
so hard to keep it light.
Yeah.
It just wants to go heavy again.
Once
And
you go
that's-
heavy, you fucking a Chevy.
Mm-hmm. And once you go light, she
You're
fucking you
fucking
right.
a bright light. Oh, okay.
We
Yeah, I
almost
like
got there. We almost got there.
No, they're all
so Carla got crabs, and by that I mean she was actually attacked by crabs. Did you guys see
Yes.
that? See
Yeah,
the
she got
crab
snipped.
attack her? Yeah.
And they don't even talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
No.
And here's the thing I want to bring up. And is this because of the time this was shot in that we're all just so used to like women being grabbed that we're not going to punish these crabs?
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
no one spoke up and said anything.
No one
there weren't
spoke
any
up.
allies.
No
Well,
one-
I'm looking at those other
Yeah,
crabs too.
Exactly. No one said, let's dump these crabs out. They're bad crabs. Let's get some good crabs in here.
well, I think
No, we're just going to keep them the show.
No,
and
we're
eat
just gonna
them.
use the crabs that are assaulting women. Apparently, the female chefs in the kitchen. Okay, sure. Yeah,
I
it's a
mean-
boys' club in here.
yeah, everyone said that it was just like, crab bucket talk. It's just crab bucket talk.
Yeah.
But there was an interview with like one of those crabs, and he was like, when you're a blue crab, you could do anything.
Yeah.
Walk them up, grab them by
Yeah.
the finger.
But you said
Anything.
Yeah.
you wouldn't catch a brown crab doing this ever.
Yeah, and a lot of the crabs were really old. Like they were of a different
Different time. They
generation.
grew up in a
of
different
crabs.
generation.
Yeah, where it's like it was okay to pinch people in that way. Whereas like crabs today, it's like they know. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be pinching people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pinch
before
people
they
like
like
that.
boil me alive. Yeah.
I need to ask permission first.
Yeah, you need to get permission before you pinch a woman's finger with your
So
crab
we
claw.
can cut all that. So Hosea
No,
is
it's staying
cooking.
in. This is showing that we are allies.
There's
Hosea-
no way. There's
Hosea's
no way that he's
cooking.
cutting that out.
Hosea is cooking with
Who's
the
got the
redfish.
tie?
It's a star-studded cast out here in the finale judges table. I mean, they've got everyone out there, and Toby. Toby's back. Toby. made a
Yes,
return.
Toby is there.
Fucking Toby. He's out of his element though.
Stefan is overconfident in this cooking challenge again. So let's go over some of the courses, right? Let's go over the. Do we want to break them down by appetizer for each one, or what?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to listen.
right.
Yeah, I just real quick at the beginning. You were talking about the animosity between Stefan and Hosea. Like, there's a whole thing with foie gras, and there's a thing with caviar too. Like, Stefan just seems angry that people took ingredients,
Yeah.
And it's
which
like,
is weird. He
it's-
seems like he's already a little stressed.
yeah, and he's like, you can't take them all. Well, I can if I'm in there and they're
Yeah, dude.
there. I don't have to leave them for anyone. I can take all of it. So
Look, we all want the cheat ingredients. We all want the like cheat code ingredients. Scallops, foie,
foie.
guaranteed. You cook with
Calf.
foie, and they go, okay.
Yeah,
What was that?
Wait.
Calf,
Calf.
ER,
half calf.
calf, ER,
I don't know what's going on.
caviar.
Caviar.
Cav. ER. Now I'm there.
So let's go over the appetizers real quick. So Carla's appetizer was a shiso soup with blue crab and chayote Thai salsa.
That's cold.
Azaya, his appetizer was blackened redfish on corn cake with Creole remoulade and micro cilantro. Brian would have hated that. Stefan's was alligator soup with celeriac, parsley leaves, and puff pastry.
Yep. And they liked all of them.
Mhm.
They're all tasty. Good. Good.
So now let's go to these first courses because this is where we're sitting down, we're eating, right?
We are.
Carla's first course: seared red snapper over saffron aioli, braised fennel, and grilled clam. Hosea: tuna, hamachi, and black bass sashimi with fennel oil, citrus, and fried tempura bits.
This is still early in Top Chef world, but like, come on with the
Yeah.
fucking
First,
everything.
Stefan:
First
smoked
course,
salmon and
uncooked fish.
smoked salmon and halibut carpaccio with microgreens, citrus vinaigrette, and caviar.
And that word, sfiddle, or is that the next thing you had?
That's the next thing he serves. The Schuffenfindel.
Yeah,
whatever.
Schuffenlinden.
So then the second course, Carla's sous vide New York strip steak with seared potato rod and Merlot sauce.
Potato rod.
And I just gotta say, strip steak is not the steak to sous vide. There's not enough fat in that bad boy.
And I mean, people like you and I know.
We know
this.
that, Brian. this
Carla
was for
didn't
you,
know.
and
Yeah.
Carla.
Yeah,
didn't know.
me and Carla don't know.
You know what's crazy is that me and Carla were dating at this
Carla
time,
and
and
I.
she actually Did you just correct me?
I corrected myself. I said me and Carla know that.
It
And then
did sound like
I
you
almost
corrected
lost
Jamal,
my
though.
shit there for a second.
I wasn't even listening to you because I was trying to say my own thing, correct
Thank
myself.
God. Thank God. So
I've checked out.
Carla and I were dating at the time, and I remember she called me
Me
while
and
she was
Carla.
making this dish.
Oh no!
Let's just forget it.
No,
So
I
it
was
was
really
no,
interested.
come on, tell it.
Josea's second course.
No,
Seared
you don't
scallop.
tell it. I'm gonna be very annoying the rest of the show.
You're already annoying. That's
The
not gonna
rest
change
of the
anything.
show.
If you
The
tell
rest
it,
of
I
the
won't
show.
talk the rest of the show.
Second course, seared scallop with foie gras on pan perdu, apple preserves, and foie gras foam. That's the foam. And then Stefan's second course, pan-seared squab, braised cabbage, Schuffendelden, I don't know what that is, foie gras, and grape jus. And Carla's third course was an apple tart coin was supposed to have blue cheese and walnut crumble. Did not have that. Third course for Hosea, pan roasted venison, chestnut, and celery root puree with wild mushrooms. That's a heavy course after you just had. I mean, you had 3 fish and then you're back over here.
Yeah.
And Stefan is stracciatella ice cream, chocolate mousse, vanilla syrup, and banana lollipop.
Cake pops. Whatever.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get the hell out of here.
Come on now.
What is it, Starbucks?
Let's hear some feedback from the judges on one of these dishes.
It's only me, but I'm tired of eating foie gras. But it was a very good dish.
I agree with just about everything that everyone else has said.
Do you agree with foie gras?
First of all, I didn't agree with that. Rocco's crazy. I could eat foie gras all day.
So when Rocco said that, they cut to Gail, and she looked like she was close to jumping over the table and ripping his fucking head off. She was so upset with him.
Yeah.
Just said, like, I'm so sick. Like, and also, fuck you.
Yeah.
I know. What
But
a
she
fucking humble brag.
Yeah, she remembered though that she just got back from her 16-game suspension, so
That's right.
Yeah.
She
can't do it
couldn't
again.
get in trouble again.
Oh, I'm so sick of foie gras.
Yeah,
I
and
just
she was
have
like,
it so
"God, I'd
much."
take your head off in the octagon."
Yeah, she was like, if
but
this
she
was
couldn't do
off
it.
season,
Yeah,
if
this
we were outside of the
Yeah.
game right now, if
Yeah.
I saw you at the club and you said that,
You'd be on site.
yeah,
So,
it'd be the end of you.
the end of you.
So I kind of wanted. I guess we can talk about it now. If Carla had not sous vide her meat
mhm.
and she'd done well on that dish, does she win?
I think so, but I think
Even
her,
with the souffle,
I think
the
her
mess up with the
souffle missing might have still dinged her because that's 2
Yeah.
dishes. Technically,
That's
she
true.
did bad, whereas everyone had like 1 dish bad. The other 2 had 1 dish bad,
Yeah,
kind of.
she'd have to nail both of those.
Yeah, and I hate that Carla kind of set the precedent for Dawn to be like, I didn't finish my serving my dish
Any
to the
chance
judges,
to kick Dawn.
and it's like this is where it started. This is the genesis of because Dawn was what 14 at this time, and then she watched.
Well,
Carla.
she was an Olympian.
She was in the
Yeah.
Olympics at this time.
Yeah, she was the
Yeah, she was
Olympics this
training.
time, so she's like 15, 16 years old, and then saw this and said, "I gotta go do it for my black women on Top Chef."
Mm-hmm. That's an appropriate response, right?
Yeah, laughing is good.
I do respect her recognizing that she fucked up the souffle and being like, "I'm not putting it out there.
Yeah.
It's not good. It
That-
curdled."
That could have double dinged her if she did that. If she sent it out.
I think that would have been worse than
Yeah.
it being like, "Oh, I'm not going to serve it," because at least she recognized there was nothing she could do about it.
Yeah, and she couldn't pivot to something else.
So Stefan, what do we think? Because basically Hosea just played it very safe
Yes.
and did a progression menu, which seemed to be in line with like at least what Tom wanted and maybe Gail. What could Stefan have done differently that
Not
would have
done
got
that-
him over the line?
That dessert.
Is it just changing the dessert gets
I
him
think
over
it's.
the line?
I think it's
What
the
was-
dessert and also the carpaccio because Tom
Yeah.
was mad that he took that fresh fish and. Oh no,
Wait,
was that
Ho-
Hosea? That was
That
Hosea.
was Hosea.
So I think the dessert for Stefan then. I think because they dinged him on that. Well, they pressed him on that. They're like, "Why'd you do the dessert?"
Smoked salmon, halibut, carpaccio, microgreens. Second course, seared squab.
Which
third
they
course.
said was the best thing they had the entire
I
time.
think it was. I think it was the dessert. I think
Yeah.
it was the dessert. And also,
Because-
I think that Tom fucking hates Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
true.
I don't think Tom likes how confident Stefan is in himself.
No, he hates it, and he's intimidated by a confident bald male
Yeah.
chef. He's like that.
Yeah.
This is my corner of the world.
Yeah.
Go
That's
back
what
to
I
Europe.
want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He couldn't wait to say that line to him and Fabio last week. Yeah, well, the European Union's done.
Yeah. We're gonna break it up. We do gotta know while we're talking about Stefan's food. Someone makes the remark and says that no one cooks a squab like no Americans can cook a squab like this. And to that I say, yeah, because we don't want to do that. That shit's nasty.
Yeah, I've
And,
never gone somewhere and said, "Oh, do you guys get fresh squab here?"
No, we have chicken. Shut up.
Yeah, I'll take a chicken.
We
or a
eat
squab.
we eat good birds in America.
Yeah.
We don't eat bad birds.
I'd rather have a big bird like a chicken that is, lousy with parasites than that little tiny squab of yours over there in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll eat a squab if you fill it full of hormones so it gets big so I get a full meal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also when they're talking about the squab, and maybe I misheard this, but Gail, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. She says that she likes the classicism of the squab dish.
Mm-hmm.
Does she say that?
Yes, she did, and that's acceptable when you're wearing what she was wearing.
When
She was wearing a squab outfit.
Yeah.
She was
dressed
wearing
like a squab.
She was dressed like a squab.
Mm-hmm.
it's insane that
No, we don't want to go down there. Okay.
No, I've already made enough things about women in this episode. I don't want to go there with you.
You know, what talk about that she was dressed like a squab. She was in a squab costume.
Okay.
It's similar to me. It's on par with Colicchio saying like, "Thank your ancestors for this." Like,
well, that wasn't the most offensive thing that was said on this episode. That comes later at Judge's Table by Toby.
Mm-hmm.
But I do admit that probably wasn't great.
it just laid out what the problem with Top Chef is. Like, I like that this is high class, isn't for poor people, is literally what she said.
Yeah, and I mean they've definitely shifted away from this kind of thing somewhere in the past like 5-6 years, where they're more excited for people, especially from different backgrounds, to cook their own food. Because even when we get, and we'll talk a little bit about the reunion, that someone from the reunion, someone complains about how she was cooking Indian food or whatever, and she's like, Indian, right? Like that's what her food is. And they were like, you shouldn't have been cooking that the whole time. And I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But they've kind of shifted away from it, but it's pretty prevalent in these early seasons.
They give me no poor people chicken, they gave me rich people squab.
For the
what's the more offensive thing that they say during that Toby says?
Oh, when Toby says they're talking about what kind of food should win, they were saying that Stefan's food doesn't have any soul. And then Toby was like, well, if we're going to go, do you have a clip of this?
Oh, I thought they said that about Hosea's food. That's my bad. I wrote that down. I thought they said Hosea's food doesn't have any soul.
I think it was, you might be right. It was either one of those two guys. And then Toby was like, no, if we want the person with the most soul, we should go with Carla or whatever, which I feel like is a coded thing, right? He's not really talking about her food.
Let me see. Let me hold on. Let me send a message to the Bat Cave.
Well, because they did also, they were upset with Carla's steak dish because
Alfred, you gotta answer the phone for me
because it didn't have soul.
I can't go up the stairs. Alfred, I just got back from the back suit.
I'm waiting for a Top Chef call.
There's a Top Chef call from Jamal. I can't get up the stairs.
Why isn't there more phones in the house? We just got the one phone.
Why is it all the way upstairs?
You gotta get the phone for me.
All right. Well, they didn't answer, so I can't figure it out.
All right, well, that's a shame.
No, but yeah, they say that Carla's steak dish, meat dish, doesn't have any soul in it. They said, which isn't like she cooks, which is fair, but also still feels coded. Like,
they said that because Tom doesn't like sous vide, and so he's like, you sous vide the steak, and that's not how you cook. You haven't been using it this entire time, so it doesn't have your soul in it. You didn't impart your soul into this meal.
I get what they were saying, but it still has like this, like it's like the black woman. You're like, where's the soul in this food?
Yeah.
I want this to have soul. I want you to come out here and like
shuck and jive.
Yeah,
Come up here and do a little tap dance. What's your salt and pepper? Get on out here. This food's got no soul, Jack.
So who wins this?
You guys didn't want to jump in on me being racist towards black people?
I'm not going to yes and that for you.
So Hosea wins. Let's listen.
Congratulations, Hosea. You are top chef.
Congrats, buddy. Thank you. Congrats.
Yeah!
Congrats. Wow. Nice job.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Pedro.
Who just won Top Chef? Hosea just won Top Chef. Yeah, he did.
So immediately they cut from that to Stefan starts talking about how he doesn't care that he didn't win and that he's fine and that, you know, he made the best dishes and he doesn't really care. And maybe you're right. They are recording these talking heads after the fact. So he already knows he doesn't win. So he can just be as butthurt as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, he says in the reunion he didn't actually even want to win.
Yeah,
like
he's I'm so much better now.
It would have been bad if he won. So, Hosea wins. Leah kisses him on the lips when he wins. Very awkward. So I thought about this season. I know early on when I came back, I swung big and said this is one of the worst seasons. And after some deep thinking, talking with my family, you know, talking it over with my pastor, and doing some really good praying on it, I've decided that it is not one of the worst seasons. I actually decided that it is a good season. It is not one of the best seasons, but it is a good season because the arc of Stefan and Stefan losing in the end, I think makes it very interesting.
Yeah, this is a good Stefan arc. If this was an anime, this is the Stefan arc. And you think that he's going to be like the final boss at the end, but you find out that actually Hosea and Tom Colicchio are the final bosses.
Bunch of guys that kind of look the same, but
kind of the same. You never saw it coming. It scares you. You're like, man, he's so strong. And then he gets to the finale and loses. And you're like, I didn't see this coming.
I mean, like as far as the episode, like not being a terrible season, real forgettable winner. Like I think Hosea is one of the winners where it's just like, oh yeah, that guy won.
Yeah,
who is he?
Yeah, and we'll try and have him on the show, and we could talk about how forgettable he is.
I'll ask him about that, how he feels about being one of the most forgettable Top Chef winners.
Yeah, we can throw that right at him. Yeah, but there's a bunch of people that come back, and there's a bunch of good characters because like Fabio is interesting, Stefan's obviously interesting.
Yeah.
So, and Carla is like this megastar who is super good. And she gives this great speech at the end where she's like kind of like crying over her mistakes and stuff like that. And, and they even, we'll get into the reunion. There's like parts where they like show her, like they kind of like try and pitch her as being weird because she like does yoga and meditates and does all these like mindfulness things that are like very big now. And it's like,
like ahead of her time.
She's ahead of her time. Yeah.
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 Are we talking about the finale?
We mentioned it a little bit that she was sabotaged, but like Tom, they call it out during the judges table. They're like, "Why did you let her tell you what to do? Like, why don't you do what you want to do?" And she probably just got in her. I'm guessing she just like, who knows what? I mean, like, Carla is a newer chef compared to the other chefs. Like this is her like second journey in life, and maybe she's felt like, oh, this is she knows what she's talking about. Second guessed herself, did it, fucked her up, could have won, probably should have won.
One of the lessons should be if I'm going to make mistakes, they're going to be my own mistakes.
Yep. That's smart. Ooh, folks, write that down.
Own your own mistakes.
And with that, I think it's time for these three boys to head out from the bayou.
Is that all we want to talk about for the reunion?
Well, I think we've both spoken. Don't you think there, Crawdaddy?
Oh, we don't need to talk about Top Chef.
Well, that was me, Jambalaya Jamal. And with me was my mumbling co-host from the bayou. Say bye, Reeves.
Well, Fabio, the fan favorite.
And Crawdaddy Brian. Please say goodbye to the good folks.
Bonjour. La vie est trop courte pour boire du mauvais vin, which of course means life is too short to drink bad wine.
Well, that's what it means, and if you look it up, that's what it'll say. Well, these were your three buddies from the bayou reporting on the finale. We ran out of music. And Hold on, pick up that
Hold on.
banjo. Pick
Hold
it up.
on, hold on.
And he picked up the banjo and he's playing it.
Yeah.
You think this is a banjo?
You got my banjo, the New Orleans banjo.
I love
never heard
this
it
jazz
in my life.
banjo. I love it. Well,
Play
this
that
is
harp,
your-
Daddy. He's getting next on
that
harp in this
jazz
song.
harp and that banjo. We're gonna book our flights out of here from Nolans. We're gonna head up Bourbon Street and then see what she's got to do. And then we're gonna head on out back to the studio. So I guess until next time, pack your knives and go.
Au revoir.
This was fun.
Absolutely.
This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.